Uh-huh.
Hey, hey, hey. Okay, what's up, creators? Peace and love. My name is Jada Liz. I was created by the creator to help creators create, and that is what I do. We have a very special guest. It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
We're gonna just jump right in. My first question to you is who are you and what do you create?
Ah, that's a dope question. I am government name Darrell Johnson, also known as Rell or the Composer Rell. So I am a music composer. I am an author. Um, yeah, that's what I have now, as well as going into the apparel space. So I'm creating apparel. So when I'm out at shows, I'm able to connect with fans not only through the music, but as well as the clothes. So I guess you could throw clothing designer into it.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Love that. Um, Okay, so the official first
Hmm.
is what role does consistency and discipline play on your journey?
Mm, those are big roles. So I just released my latest project titled "The Gift for Others." That has the same
Congrats.
title as my book. So the last song on that album is actually called "Consistency." So with consistency being the last song on the project, I felt as though it was very important for me to put that there because when it comes to just being in any creative space, I feel as though you have to be consistent in order to be able to see results. So when we're thinking about being in school or you're thinking about going to the gym, you try and get your body right or what have you have to be in a space where you have to understand consistency is something that's going to play a pivotal role. So for
Mhm,
myself, with even creating a project such as an album, writing a book, you have to be consistent to come to that finished product. So the book I actually wrote the summer of 2022, and I wrote that throughout the course of that whole summer. So I just took it and broke it down in small chunks and just was writing. Every day I had a whole little regimen going on. So I would do a little summer work, then I will go to the gym. Then I come home, take a shower, eat, and then I'm back to writing. So I did that throughout the course of that summer, and that allowed me to be able to be in a space to have a completed book titled "The Gift for Others." And just move into the album. There's some I want to say concepts on the album that I started maybe 12 years ago. So even though a lot of people are experiencing it now, 12 years ago, I was in a space where I had to make beats. And every track that's on the album is composed by yours truly. So I had to be in the space even before then because I really started making beats in 2006. So we look at it being 2025, that's a long space in between. So it was a point where I wasn't comfortable with the beats that I was making. I felt as though they were okay, but I really didn't feel as though it was at that space where I could feel comfortable allowing the world hearing it. So I had to go through a whole period of time of being consistent with having some whack beats, but being in that space where it's like I'm getting reps in, so I have to practice every day. I have to go through that period of having some whack beats, but now I have fire beats, and here we are today. So consistency, it plays a big, big role in everything that I do because you have to be consistent to get that finished product. I know that was the first. That was one. That was part of the question. But what was the other word that you said?
the whole it was consistency and discipline,
So with
but you kinda
discipline,
answered, yeah.
with
Go ahead.
discipline, you definitely have to have discipline. That's another big part. Because there's moments where I would come home after working all day and then going to the gym where I just wanted to relax. I didn't want to write. However, I knew that in order for me to get to that finished product, I have to write. So
Mhm,
I had to be in that space where my feelings don't matter at that moment. So of course I would acknowledge it. Hey, okay, this is what I feel because I'm aware.
mhm.
However, once got into that awareness part, then I had to move straight into the logical part. What is it that I need to do? I know that I need to complete this book, so my feelings don't matter right now. So that discipline, I feel as though is big. Because even looking at like small parts that we do on a daily basis, such as like making my bed. Like I have to make my bed every day. And those are small things that, help us to get to those big pieces. So me making my bed every day is what lead and strengthens my discipline to be able to override my feelings and write a book. Or me finishing the album, going to the studio, or having, let's say, just a first verse and just a hook, and
Mhm,
knowing that there's two verses on the song. So I have to sit down and I have to write in that notepad and not only stay there, but now I gotta book the studio time. Then I gotta drive to the
mhm,
studio. Then I gotta record the song. Then I probably gotta have a couple of takes in the studio session. And I can't finish the whole album in one day. So I gotta come back and I gotta do it all over. Or there may be some tracks that's still not complete that I have to do it. And so the discipline, it goes hand in hand with being consistent, but
mhm.
those two play pivotal roles because it's how we get the finished product.
That like the length that you were talking about, because I I'm just now dipping my toe into the music world. It's been
Mm,
in me, feel like my whole life. It not feel like it has been in me my whole life. I always grew up around studios. So it does take time. It does take consistency. You do have to work on your craft. And I think the best thing is to be able to look back and have the finished product. Like, oh my gosh, one of the best things ever about writing a book is looking at it and holding it and really
yes.
realizing that like this this thing that you're holding came from thoughts in your head, words that you typed out on a computer, words that you had like just in a tuck, consistently just writing them out, writing them out, writing them out, and then going through the process of publishing. Like it's something about it that is just like surreal. And then it kind of brings a little more, oh my gosh, what's the word I want to use? It brings, okay, lack of better words, it's like a testimony to the fact that
Mm,
your thoughts are things and you literally can create anything. If you could take these words and put it on a book and actually make it something that you could pass out and other people can hold, what else can't you do?
right.
I love that. Okay. Oh, were you gonna say? You were gonna say something?
No, just I agree with that. Because being in a space where you are consistent and being disciplined, you need that finished product, like you stated, because
Yeah,
it gives you not only a testimony for other people to be a part of it, but it kind of calms you down and motivates you as well, because going through those moments is not always easy. Sometimes
it's
there's
not.
self-doubt that come about where you're thinking, man, am I crazy for doing this? Am I ever going to finish it? So being able to have that finished product it allows you to have that calm to your spirit, but it
Right.
also have that motivation too, because even though I just released my first official album last week, because I had
Mhm.
instrumental projects out, but this was my first one with actual songs. So I'm already working on the next album.
That's beautiful.
So it's
I
like,
am
I already had the track list
manifesting.
and everything. So
I was saying I'm manifesting the collab because we've been talking about that for a
yes,
minute, but divine timing.
absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
gonna happen. Um, my next, well, okay, actually, I'm gonna not skip it, but I wanted to know what the inspiration behind your book was because you said that you turned your book into an album, and obviously there is. some type of passion and drive behind um, the projects. So, what was the inspiration for your book?
Um, so one of my close homegirls, Tori Key, Health is Key.
Hmm.
Um, for a while, she would, I want to say, encourage me to write a book. Her and I, we always would chop it up talking about being in spaces where we have residual income.
Hmm.
So she's like, well, Rel, you went through experience of being a dad. You got a lot of experience in that area. Why don't you write a book? And you can have it where it's just a PDF or not a PDF, but an ebook. That way
Hmm.
it's like really not that much overhead and you're able to get it out. You're able to help other brothers as well as able to make some money as well. So that was, I want to say, the initial spark. But once, I got over like, well, I can't do this. And God just gave me like a lot of inspiration, was giving me wisdom on how to like bring it all together. That's when I started to dive deeper. So I'm like, okay, God, I don't know how to write a book. I never wrote a book before. So I need your help. So that's when he gave me the title of the book. I'm like, okay, I have the title of the book, but um how many chapters should be in the book? What should the chapter names be? And like every step of the way, like I was praying about it and he was actually answering it. So the initial inspiration came from my homegirl just saying I should write a book. I had this experience of being a dad. And then diving deeper into it, and I started to pray and like, well, what should I actually write about being a dad? It was more so a dedication to the fathers. Um, I know us men and slash fathers, we usually don't have that many spaces where we're able to have like safe spaces or to be able to connect with other brothers regarding the situations that we go through. I know y'all sisters, y'all usually have those spaces. It seems as though it's a little bit easier for y'all to be in those spaces and share out. And even if let's say y'all don't have like a mom around, y'all usually will have other, female friends. Y'all may have a sister, y'all may have an aunt. It's some other female within the community that y'all are able to lean upon to help support y'all go
Hmm.
through the journey of being a female. With us brothers, we normally don't have that. So that became the deeper inspiration. And just knowing that we don't normally have that. And it's like, well, I have been through some things. Um, just being a dad and going through that journey and it being challenging. So it started to become a tool to be able to support our brothers, to be able to find some inspiration or identify with another male that looked like them, go through similar things, but was still able to overcome a lot of the challenges that came my way.
I love that. That's actually a perfect segue into the next question. So you speak and you touch on faith. Um, I want to know what role faith plays on your journey. And then, mostly, have you ever had an experience where your faith has been tested
Mm, mm.
and how you
So,
got through it?
so faith plays is interwoven into every part of who I am at this moment. Um, I want to say I wasn't always aware of it. I wasn't. I grew up in the church.
Mhm.
However, I didn't have a relationship with God, Jesus,
Mhm.
Yeshua. So, and there's a big difference between the two. A lot of people may go to church, however, they're not in that space where they're able to have that relationship with God. So my relationship with God on a personal relationship with Jesus didn't begin until November 2011, actually. So um, once that relationship came about, I started to go through, I want to say, challenging moments. um, where it was like I was just like being transformed, literally. And it was like really challenging because while I'm going through it, I'm really not aware of how to navigate through it, what's to come. So it was like a lot of stuff I had to like learn just like on the spot. And having moments where it's like I'm breaking down because like this is totally new for me, and my family really haven't been through I want to say a transformation like this, because I feel as though they were brought up in the church, but once again didn't have that personal relationship with God. So yeah, faith is definitely interwoven in everything that I do, because I just know from the experiences that I had in the past as well as present, that God has been present there all along. So if this was November 2011, I would have been terrified to have an interview like this. I would have been, my palms would have been
Wow.
sweaty, my heart would have been beating. So that's one of the, I want to say, challenges. So around that time, within church, there was
Mhm.
an elder who was her responsibility. One of her responsibilities was to read the church announcements. So I noticed on this particular Sunday that she was having like so much trouble just reading the announcements. So my heart starts beating. It's up to me now to start, taking over this position. And I'm hearing this now. I know it's Holy Spirit talking to me, but then I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that. But I just saw, the challenge that she was having, and I just looked around and I was like, no one is going to step up. And I felt like it was my responsibility to do so. So by me seeing that, thanks be to God, I felt in that position, and that was one of the ways that God started to develop me with getting comfortable with speaking in front of people. And
Mhm.
then, it went from that to me teaching like the adult Sunday school. It went into me like we have like events at the church, such as like a talent night or something, and I
Mm.
will perform one of my songs a cappella. So it was like a lot of those different moments that God was allowing me to go through, that it was building my faith to be able to be in a space like this. And all of those, I'm gonna say, stepping stones came from the faith part.
Right.
With me being shy growing up, it wasn't platforms that I had available that was used to help develop me as a male. It wasn't until me coming into the knowledge of Christ where these different circumstances was taking place and my faith is being built. It's being tested, but it's being built and being strengthened.
Mhm.
So those are two moments. There's been plenty of moments of just having to have challenging conversations with family members, loved ones, where growing up I was terrified of conflict, not because not just for the sake of just being terrified of them, but just knowing my character and the way that I like to handle things. I didn't really have clear-cut examples on how to handle conflict in a mature way. A lot of times
Right.
I will witness it where there's a lot of fighting, verbally, yelling, such as things like that. And I didn't want to handle them like that, So God, through the whole process, took me through the process of handling it in a different way where it's fit into my character. So I know that throughout that process, I am an exhorter. So that's my strongest spiritual gift. So with me exhorting others, is not always being in a position to tell them what they want to hear. Sometimes it's in a position to tell them what they need to hear, but being able to still wrap that in love. You know, um, there was just being moments or being in moments where I had to have conversations with my son mom that I didn't necessarily want to have, but for the sake of him, I had to confront those. And once again, this is not me being afraid of her, but this is just me being aware that not everybody wants to handle them in a mature face-to-face
Yeah.
conversation, because within our communities, there's a lot of stuff that go on, so we all are faced with our own traumas, challenges. So with me being a leader, like thinking back to going and taking that step with filling a position with the elder in the church with the announcements, okay, if everybody is used to handling things this way, then it's up to me to handle it in a different way.
Right.
Um, so it was various challenges that I went through, such as those that helped me to understand my faith, not to be afraid to exercise my faith, and to continue to keep on overcoming the challenges from the past.
But, like, looking at these problems. Hi, I
Say
don't
that
know
again.
who this is. It says Grinch Lover. Like,
Oh,
Miss J, do you remember me from Lincoln? I don't know who Grinch Lover is, but I remember being our focus. So shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in.
hey.
Oh my gosh. This what's really cool about what we do, and I know you didn't talk about your day job, but what's cool about what we do is that the impact, the conversations that we have with the kids that we work with can literally like go super far. And
Mm-hmm.
like you never know what seed that you plant that can help somebody move forward. So like you were saying, like having to outgrow shyness because I'm I I want to say I am on the shyer side and having to put yourself in positions to break yourself out of that so that God can use you to do whatever he needs to do with whoever he needs to do it. It's
Mm.
it's it's challenging. And I always think about I've been going over Moses, like what you were saying reminds me of the story of Moses, how God was like, you gotta go do this. And he
Mm.
spent so much time with God, are you sure? Like, are you sure of me? Like, I have this problem, I have that problem. Like, I'm shy, like I don't wanna go. And yet and still God still used him to do those things. And I just got to a point where I'm just like, I don't want to not make it to the promised land. I want to listen the first time. Like if God's telling
Mm.
me, Jay, do X, I want to just go do X. I'll be scared. I'll be nervous. I'll be a little shaky. But
Yup.
this season is the season of obedience the first time, hence why I had to leave. But that's a whole nother other story for another day. But so my we're almost done. We're running through these. What is this question? Oh, I love this one. What keeps you going on the rough days? And I do want to say, I want to shout you out because during the time that we were working together in the same space, um, I've never seen you lose your cool. I've never seen you like kids will test you, and they do often. And the position that you're in, you are the person who needs to balance. And I think that it is important that kids see men who can be an example. And I think you are a good example to how kids can show up or be in this world. So on those rough days, how do you handle that?
Thank you for just acknowledging that. Um, I want to say a lot of times it's not super hard, but there are moments where it becomes hard. Um, just because I care so much and I know like what my
Mhm.
purpose is for being present. So like with me being present, like I'm there, not like the organization isn't my boss or anything of that nature. Like I'm working for God. And
That's
I don't
good.
just say that because it sounds good, but having those mindset transformations allow me to focus when those moments of challenges become present. So even thinking of like a Moses, you sharing out Moses is like light bulb moment because God requires things of us, and we share back to him our failures or our shortcomings. Whereas he tell us that before this foundation of this world was even formed, he knew us. So that knowing in that context is a deep intimacy. And meaning that he knows us on a deep personal level before
Yeah.
this world was even formed. So in those moments, like I go back to the word, because sometimes you need that refueling.
Mhm.
And the I want to say the line of work that we do is being on the front line, and we're pouring out so much. And with me being a dean, I'm pouring out a lot, listening to not only the scholars' challenges, but the teachers, the parents, and being like that medium, as well as being a disciplinarian, is all wrapped up into one. And that's just at work. I'm not even throwing in, me being a dad, me being a husband into it, me being a music composer, me being an author. So all of those things, like I have to revert back to the faith piece, because the faith piece is what holds everything together, every single thing together. So I want to say since 2013, I've been getting up early, um, earlier than needed to be able to pray, to meditate, and to read the word before work. Now, those three help me to remain grounded. When I wake up, I don't look to grab my phone and start scrolling. I'm grabbing my phone to set a timer while I'm praying, just so I'm not spending like that much time praying
Yeah.
right then. Because prayer happens throughout the day. I just want to make sure that my first part of the day is being spent with just grounding myself in God, understanding that it's He that supply the needs. So with the prayer, then I move to meditation. Now, because God tells us to meditate on His Word day and night. So when I'm meditating, I'm just thinking over and over. So just giving an example, the meditation that He has me in right now is, not my will, Lord, but Your will be done. So that way, when those challenging moments come, it's already embedded in my brain. We have neurons, and then when they connect and it's forming what I may call like a new habit, it's something in science that they call neuroplasticity. So with me saying it over and over, I want them neurons to connect. So when I have those moments of, let's say, weakness, I'm able to have it in a way where it's now second nature. So if we needed to tie our shoes really quickly right now, we're not really taking the time to think, oh, I have to tie my shoe. I have to bend down or I have to lift my foot up. We're not doing all of that. We're just, oh, my shoe needs to be tied and we just going to tie it. So I
Yeah.
always want to be in a space where like this artist, Currency, he from New Orleans. He has a line that I love. He say, he stay ready so he don't have to get ready. So with me being in those spaces of,
Yep.
praying, starting my mornings off like that with God, or being on lunch break and not staying in the building but going out to the car, it allowed me to reground myself, to step away. So now when I'm coming back in, it's like I have moments of being refreshed. So when those stressful moments are coming, I've embedded myself so much in God that when those moments come about, now the light shining. It's like I love great like athletes or anybody that's great, period. So
Yeah.
growing up, my favorite artist was Tupac. Next artist favorite was Kanye or Ye. And basketball player Kobe Bryant. But I like Michael Jordan too. Now, those individuals right there have something in common. They stay consistent. They have discipline, starting off with those questions that you asked when we first got on. They stay in those spaces. And I look and I see that, yo, these cats right here, like they dangerous when it comes to their craft. They have like a high level of output under pressure moments. So I started like studying and putting the dots together. What helps them to be able to still perform at this high level, even when there's so much pressure that's present? So they practice, and the more that, and they just practice more than their competitors. So they were able to
Mhm.
annihilate their competition because they put so much work in. So I just take that, even though I'm not a basketball player, I do write music. So I'm able to be in a space where I'm able to take those methods and add them to my life. So I just add them to God. So in the morning, I'm pray, meditate, I read the word. While I'm getting ready, I'm listening to sermons. I'm listening to the word. In the middle of the day or something like that, I may quote scripture, or pray while I'm on my lunch break or something like that. So I'm getting a lot of reps in. So it's like I'm marinating in God throughout the day. So when those treacherous moments come about, I'm able to stay calm because there's a power in meditating. When we meditate, it allows the gray matter in our brains to become bigger, which allow our frontal lobe, because that's the decision making part of our brain. So when those moments that's coming crazy, I'm able to remain calm because I done the shadow work behind the closed doors. I put that work in. So what y'all see is just me putting that work in when no one else is looking but God.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I used to tell my team that when I was at the site, like all the time. And the thing about staying ready, I just with stress, I do not like the scramble. Don't like the
Mm,
scramble. We should not be scrambling because oh now the ED is coming or the somebody's gonna pop up or the state's popping up. Like, no, let's be ready the first time. Let's do what we need to do the first time so that it's not, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, they're here. No, no,
yes.
we're ready. Anybody can come in here because we're doing what we need to do at all times. That was always the you could ask them. That's always what I used to say to them. And I love what you said because when you stay ready, and actually looking back, I notice the mornings where I wake up, do my journaling, I do my prayer, talk to God first, get that guidance. If I'm really focused on God, things affect you differently. Things affect you way differently. And it's simple, but it's not easy. And that goes back to the consistency and discipline. You are consistently showing up for yourself, for God, and you're disciplined and waking up earlier. Make sure that you covered yourself in the word before you step into I'll say the battlefield. When you step out your
Yes.
door, it's a battlefield. And when the enemy knows like what team you're on, they send. And I mean, rightfully so. They're gonna send things to test you, things to attack you, things to test you. And when you have that armor on first and you take that time to put it on every day,
Mhm.
you pass every time. You win
Every
every
time.
time. Every
Every
time
time.
without fail. And you end up converting other people to be like, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Because we're in the same place and I'm stressed and they look like they winning. So we got the same email. We got the same
Mhm.
boss. We got the same circumstances. What are you doing that I'm not doing? And it gains that curiosity and it ends up being a win for the kingdom.
Yes. Every time. Every
Love
time.
that.
That's why I said I had to, you know what I'm saying, go to Whole Foods because staying up on, herbs or drinking some good water, like
Yep.
people see me walk around
Yep.
or like fill up my waters in a glass bottle. It's like, yo, like, or having, fruit vibration juice, it's like the stuff that, I put into my body, pause. it allowed me to be able to stay at a high level, function at a high level. Like our nerves, everything. Like God say, this is a temple, and the Holy Spirit is housed here. So I want to invest, through the resources God give to be able to really use them for the uplifting of His kingdom.
And we have two questions left. So this last one, or not last one, second to last. What is your intention for the next 12 months?
Mm. My intention for the next 12 months is um, to double my income
Hmm.
via the stock market. I am an investor as well. So to double my income through the stock market, that way, that's that residual income I was talking about. Um, as well as I have a children's book that will be releasing next month.
Okay.
So the illustrator is just putting the touches, finishing touches on that. So Lord willing, that will be out next month. As well as another album that will be coming out. So that's within the next few months. But I would say in the next 12 months, I should have at least four more albums out within the next year.
Or
That's just
okay,
like at the minimum,
okay.
but it may be more because now I have a home studio. So um yeah, I would say more apparel slash merch. So I
Mhm.
have my shirts as well as hoodies, as well as long sleeve shirts. So long sleeve, short sleeve, as well as hoodies. I look to have some sweatpants out as well, some beanies for my line titled Simple Fly. And it just go according to just my personality, my style. For me, the title or the name of the apparel line, Simple Fly. I started that in 2020, and it represents my fashion sense. So for me, I want to say I'm not like the majority of people or cats. I don't think that you just need to have the high end fashion brands to could be considered fly. I
Right.
could get fly with a whole Target outfit on and some Chucks, and put it together like it's some high end fashion house.
Yep.
So to me, that's the difference between fashion and style. Fashion is I need to be dripped down in Prada. That's fashion. Style, I could be dripped in something from the thrift shop, but I could still make sure that that thing is lined up the way it needs to be. Um, yeah, so the next 12 months, that's just now. I'm sure there's a lot more, but that's like the immediate stuff that I could think about when I first think of that question.
Yeah. Okay. And last question is my favorite question that I love to ask. I am going to get into the habit of reaching out to my people and just calling. We're gonna get to the question. What are you grateful for?
Mm.
Three things.
God, my family, and um, the blessing of being able to be an overcomer.
Yeah, that this is so cool. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on this segment. This is really cool. I really appreciate your words. Shout out to my student because I see you in the comments.
Being a
I see you
moderator.
in the comments, right? I love it. Um, do want to say so next week on Thursday, we are hosting the first Kingdom Connect. So, Kingdom Connect is a networking event for faith based professional creatives. That is I'm sorry. All right, so yeah, it's a networking event for Kingdom Creative. So we are looking to connect with artists, with entrepreneurs, with people who are interested in becoming a creative. The space that we're gonna end, the people who will be in the room will be just amazing. You we could talk about this offline, but if you wanted to get a table, you could come. Well, I'll send you all the details. But guys, this was really cool. This was a really great mindset Monday. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna hop off, but just I love this. I can't wait for the replay.
Absolutely.
Again, thank you for sharing space and sharing wisdom. And I will be talking to all of y'all soon. See y'all next Monday.
Peace.
Peace.